What's up guys, I'm JJT. Welcome to the channel and welcome to the second episode of my Score Streaks Explained series. Today we'll be talking about the combat bow. We will see how deadly it is against players in score streaks, as well as what perks and other equipment in the game affect the combat bow in order to decide whether it is a score streak worth using or not. Before we get started, I want to remind you, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you like the content, since over 90% of you guys aren't subscribed right now. And for those of you who want to support the channel even further, head over to Patreon through the link in the description below. With that, let's go ahead and get started. For those of you who haven't used it, the combat bow is just a bow and fire arrow that damages enemies within a small radius with fire. You start with 4 arrows and the fire sticks to the person so that they cannot get away from it once you hit them. It appears that if you get killed before you use any of the arrows, you'll respawn with the streak still available, but if you use an arrow and die, you lose the rest of the arrows. When I tested the combat bow out, it appears that it will kill any enemy damaged by it that isn't using flak jacket, and it damages anyone within 3.5 meters of where the arrow lands. It will kill anyone it hits directly instantly, and it seems that if it doesn't hit directly, then the amount of time it takes to kill someone is directly tied to how far away the arrow landed from them. For example, when I landed an arrow 2 meters away, it killed in 2 seconds, and when I landed an arrow 3.5 meters away, it killed in 3.5 seconds. So the closer you land to the enemy, the quicker it seems to kill them. This is important because the enemy can still kill you while you are waiting on them to burn to death. I also tried several counters and several methods of saving myself while burning to death from a combat bow, starting with the stim shot. And this starts the healing process once you use it, but it stops as soon as the next tick of damage hits, which is very fast with a combat bow, and so it has basically no effect against the combat bow. I also tried it against the armor score streak, and armor does not stop or lessen the damage from the combat bow either. I tried shooting the arrow past a trophy system, and it appears that if you shoot a fully charged arrow, the trophy system will not stop it. If you shoot an arrow that is not fully charged, then the trophy system can stop it sometimes, but it makes it pretty far past the trophy system before it does. So if you aim at someone that's standing next to a trophy system, it will almost always kill them if you hit them. So I would not consider the trophy system to be a threat to the combat bow, because basically it has to travel a really long distance past the trophy system before the trophy system shoots it. So unless the person is beyond the trophy system, like 10 meters or more, then the trophy system is probably not going to save them. A lot of people also recall seeing a tactical mask symbol pop up against enemies sometimes, making it seem as though there is an interaction between the combat bow and the perk tactical mask. And I've seen this pop up also, but I tested it out, and the tactical mask does not appear to affect the combat bow in any way. One other thing I tried in order to prevent death from the combat bow is jumping into water, and I tried it at the pool, at the docks, and at the beach on Miami, and the combat bow will still kill you even if you jump into a water source. When I tested it against the flak jacket perk, it still kills the enemy 1 hit if it hits them directly, but will not kill with 1 hit otherwise. It'll take 2 indirect hits to kill the enemy with flak jacket on. This means your time to kill with the combat bow is painfully slow if you don't get direct hits, whether the opponent has flak jacket on or not, but is obviously going to be even slower if they're using flak jacket. So against players, the combat bow is only really benefiting you if you get direct hits with it, because otherwise any other normal weapon will kill faster than it. The upside though is that you can obviously kill enemies without having to hit them directly, unlike your normal weapons. I also tested the combat bow against several score streaks, and against the sentry gun it took 2 arrows to destroy it, which isn't too bad, but it's not really great either. You really want to try to get some kills with those arrows. So having to use 2 on a sentry turret kind of sucks, but if you really needed to get rid of a sentry gun real fast, then you could use the combat bow to do it. I tried it against the attack helicopter, and this is where it gets surprising. I found out it actually does quite a lot of damage, and it will take an attack helicopter down with just 3 arrows hitting the attack helicopter. and it is fairly easy to hit the attack helicopter also. A better method though would be to use 2 arrows on the attack helicopter, which leaves it with almost no health, and then you can finish it off with just a few bullets afterwards, so then you still have 2 arrows left to use against enemies if you'd like to. So it's actually worth using if you want to get rid of an attack helicopter quickly. Against other aerial streaks, on the other hand, it isn't really worth using. It'll take a chopper gunner or VTOL down in around 5 arrows, which you only start with 4, and both of them are extremely hard to hit, so you'll likely miss some anyway. And this is going to make it so that you're just really not going to be able to ever take down chopper gunner or VTOL with it, or even really deal enough damage to be worth shooting at them. But that's pretty much everything I tested for the combat bow, and if I forgot something, as always, feel free to comment what you'd like to know down below. As for my opinion of the crossbow, I think the score value to get it is fairly balanced, because even though it takes so little score to get, after the first time you get it, there's a 2-minute cooldown before you can get it again, so you aren't really able to get it super often anyway. It's also not very good at long range, and even sometimes at mid range, because it has low velocity and arcs downward, so it's best kept at close to mid range. Overall, I feel like the combat bow really isn't worth using as a score streak, because most guns in the game will kill faster than it already unless you land directly. So unless you do land directly with it, you put yourself at a disadvantage by using it. Obviously, the goal is to land your shots directly with this thing and try to get those instant kills, but being completely honest, the average player is going to miss more often than they're going to land direct shots with this, and even highly skilled players are probably going to be sort of like half and half with landing those direct shots and not. So it's not really, it doesn't feel like it's going to happen often enough to benefit you a whole lot. Also, since quite a lot of people use Flak Jacket, there will be a lot of instances where you aren't able to get a one-hit kill unless you get that direct hit. And I feel that running a different score streak is better, because even when you do get kills with a combat bow, they are usually kills that you would have gotten anyway with your regular weapon. So it doesn't feel like you get additional kills or like an additional benefit from it. Whereas if you use something like the RCXD, you basically get a free additional kill or two, and you can earn an RCXD more often than a combat bow because the cooldown is 30 seconds shorter. That being said, I don't really think it needs a buff either at the same time, because it does kill instantly when you hit people with it, and it does get a free kill if you land next to people that don't have Flak Jacket. But it feels kind of like a just for fun kind of score streak to me that isn't weak by any means, but isn't very beneficial to use either. It's sort of a gimmicky score streak to me. That's just my opinion though, and you guys feel free to let me know how you feel about the combat bow in the comment section down below. Also, once again, don't forget to like the video if you like the video, and the 90% of you who aren't subscribed, hit that subscribe button for me. Take it easy, fellas. JJT out.